I'm David Anderson, and on behalf of the System Dynamics Society, I'd like to welcome Ken Cooper for spending some time sharing some of your wisdom over the last 40 years. In this short video, you're going to hear the story of the Northrop Grumman case as told in Ken Cooper's own words. The Society's home page, web page, has additional printed material if you're interested in this case, and in a short supplemental video, Ken is going to be giving us some of the interesting backstory to the case. Ken, thank you for being with us.
It's a pleasure, David. Glad to be here. One of the reasons that I thought it would be interesting to talk about the Northrop Grumman case is that this was an example of starting with a client, working on a particular problem issue. It was a dispute. Moving on from that work to work that was exclusively proactive program management support, and moving on from there to assisting in changing corporate policy with the support of a set of simulation analyses. So that's the stream of things that I'll touch upon in going through this. As has been the case in virtually all successful applications of system dynamics, in this instance, so much was dependent upon having a strong executive champion, even a series of champions in the client. Starts with let me start with the F-18 EF Super Hornet. This is a carrier-based fighter aircraft. The development and the production for the F-18, for the Super Hornet version, was shared between McDonnell Douglas and Northrop Grumman. We were asked to be involved because we had just recently finished working on a highly classified program on behalf of Northrop Grumman that was involved in a very significant dispute. It resolved very well in support of the client, and so in addition to liking the work, they were very much wanted to avoid going through that dispute process again. They put their most experienced program manager on the program. He was already a senior corporate executive, and he wanted a program simulation model from the very start. In fact, I know for a fact that we were under contract with Northrop Grumman even before Northrop Grumman was under contract to execute the program work. The issues addressed in that work centered around the use of the model not only for specific analyses but also to raise awareness in the program of issues of rework, undiscovered rework, and the analyses, as well as that awareness raising that was an important part of the work for the client, led to, according to our client, that was an important part of why that program became honored as one of the best DoD programs of the era. In turn, based on that success, and this is where the story turns into a corporate policy description, the company had seen a number of things from the simulation analyses that they wanted to take advantage of beyond a specific program, and so they asked us to carry out analyses that could be used in support of a corporate policy, in the instance that I'll describe, on the use of overtime. Now, many of you, perhaps most of you, already know the potential adverse effects of overtime on productivity. The company wanted to set policy on overtime limits in order to avoid the worst of those effects. Now, the results of that part of the analyses the results are in my paper that I entitled "The $2,000 Hour." So that is in the. I think that will be available. It was in the Project Management Journal at the time. There is a chart in that paper that displays some of the results, and and I used that results in terms of the net output gained at different levels of overtime. And as you can imagine, the output gain climbs for a while, climbs more slowly, and then actually begins to decline as very excessive levels of overtime are used. So for one point, I wanted to make a point that was that would stick in people's heads. And so, in addition to the chart that summarizes all of it, I computed that at one particular point along the way, using industry average wages, that at that level of overtime, 1 hour of net added output achieved would cost $2,000. Hence the name, the $2,000 hour. So I would invite you to take a look at that paper and that particular chart, and pause to do so. If you do have a chance to look at the paper, the $2,000 hour, I think it will be clear that to you that we had a bit of fun putting that paper together, and that part of the story is the story behind the story is will be in an accompanying short video as well.
Ken, thank you for that narrative. The full documentation that Ken referred to is available on the Society's website, and you can also look for the backstory, also available directly through the Society's website. Thank you very much, Ken.
You're welcome, David.